Hey, this is Trends21 and I am Sidra. Today we are going to discuss about the arrival of a person on job interview. Means if you have got the letter to go there, how should you conduct yourself? So I have made some points for that and I am going to discuss these points one by one. Point number one is that we all know at a stage when we are going to get a job, we definitely know that every brain is having its price. So you must be aware of your price. Where do you fall? You must be knowing that. How much experienced you are and what is your price, you better know rather than others. And be sure when you are entering for the job interview, the person who is going to judge you, he better knows your reality. So don't try to pose anything because you are going to join them. They will come to know later or sooner about yourself. So keep this thing in your mind that you are knowing your own price. According to that price, you are going to discuss everything with them. Point number two. Salary comes at the last when you are going for the job interview. Definitely the person who is interviewing you, he asks you about the salary, but every time it comes at the last. You must be having this point in your brain for the at a second place, that you are going to give yourself a status before arriving there, that what salary do you deserve, in which situation you are going, in which institution you are going. You better know. You have chosen a place to go. You must be knowing your salary package in your brain, and it should be according to your capability. Now come to the point how to judge the capability of a person. For example, if you are going on a job interview for the very first time, you have no experience. That means I took it as when I joined, I did not bother about salary. I was not interested at all. What is the salary? How shall I get it? How will be happen? According to money, nothing was related to the money. I just wanted to get the job because I wanted to get experience. So be sure about it that for the very first time when you are going to the job, they are going to pay you, to teach you, to give you an experience. So welcome it open-hearted, that you are not going to demand about salary for the very first time. If you are experienced, if it is of more than 2 years, 3 years, you must be knowing that you are having something in your brain. You are having your price. So go to conduct yourself according to your own estimation in your brain, according to your experience. I hope you understand what I mean. I'm not having intention to teach those who are already experienced. This point is related to those who are inexperienced. I just want to encourage them that don't bother about salary for the very first time. Just focus upon the experience. You'll get the salaries in future. Now, point number 3. We have seen that people are well prepared. Apparently, their looks are very good. And when they speak, we just feel disappointed. Be sure about it that your looks are really, really going to escape you at some points. But be sure that you are not going to be escaped when this is a matter of your conduction, your demonstration. So be sure about it that only looks don't matter. You will have to show your specialities, your dexterities in your job interviews. You'll have to sell yourself in the best way. Point number 4, it relates to my personal experience. I take a job interview after getting experience. I take a job interview just as going on shopping. Because whenever I go on shopping, I have one thing in my mind, that if I like something, I'm not going to purchase it if it is unaffordable. Means I never took something at the level of my ego that I will have to purchase it, or if it is likable, I'm going definitely to purchase it. No, I always drop an option in it. Now, while going on the job after getting enough experience, you must be confident in a way that if a person is trying to use yourself on a little salary, which is not equal to your experience, you will stay away of that job. This is a very significant point because I personally went to a school. It was a huge school, a system army school, and the person asked me question. He was having many army people and very big officers, and he asked me, how do you feel while joining our school? I feel special. It's okay, I like it. He said, how do you see yourself after 5 years? I said, I see myself at your chair, at your place. I want to grow rapidly. He did not select me because they didn't want to get those people who are competitive. So don't drop your confidence. You'll get a better option, but don't give up. Don't sell yourself at a little point. Point number 5 is to prepare your CV in a very good manner, in a very dexterous way, that your degrees must be displayed at the last. Your experience must be displayed in the beginning, and the biggest degree you have achieved must be at the very first level when the interviewer is going to discuss about your degrees, means about your academic records. First of all, you'll have to arrange the experiences you have, and then the dexterities you have, and then at the last you will have to display your degree, and one degree is enough, whatever you have got at the last. Besides, you must be having your original documents in your bag. Don't show them. But if you are going for the very first time on job interview in Pakistan, many people ask you about the original degrees, so you will have to display them. But never ever drop your original documents to anyone. It can ruin your career. I have seen it. I have seen my friend, she filed a case upon the principal, but she ran away. The principal ran away while having all the documents. They broke the cabinets of the school and they blah blah blah. So don't give your documents, original documents, to anyone. But if you are going for the very first time, you could be teased by this way that show your documents, original ones. So you will have to bring them along with you. Point number 6 is to make a list, an invisible list in your brain. You must be having the points, and that list must be comprises of some questions related to the salary. It must be coming at the last, but you will have to arrange it very dexterously. You must not forget any of the point, that whether you are getting the salary of holidays or not in the beginning, means in the very first year. I'm just talking about the teaching interviews. You can take it as usual also in the offices also. You can apply all rules on the same, on the other fields also. Now, you are going to ask them whether you are getting salary of holidays or not. If you are paying duties in the ground, you have seen it that in the break times teachers are going to pay duties. I am totally against of it. I don't favor. You'll have to commit this, that you are not going, because a domestic staff is there to pay these duties. There should be nothing related to the teacher regarding these duties, especially in the break times or in the off times. Teachers are not supposed to serve your kids. Teachers are not supposed to do the things which are made for domestic staff. A subject teacher, a general teacher, is just a teacher. So take her seriously. Otherwise, if you are having an office job, I am not having any experience of office jobs, so you better know that if you are going to pay some other duties which are not included in your task, you must be against of it. You must be raising questions for that why should you pay those duties. Besides, some matters are very serious and are unnoticed usually. This is also included in point number 6, that while signing a contract, you must be having these questions in your mind, that are you getting a probation period or not? Are you getting a confirmation after 3 months or not? Or after how many months are you getting a confirmation? And more than enough, you will have to ask them seriously that are you getting a salary increment after confirmation? Because it should be happen. And if you are once confirmed teacher, you must be asked about the salary of coming holidays of the same year. If you are joining in the beginning of the session, you are having a right to ask about the salary of holidays. Now point number 7. Point number 7 is apparently minor, but it can create some very disastrous scenes in future. So discuss about this point also. Discuss your ailments if you are having any. For example, when I joined, I asked them about the washroom. I have to use it again because I drink water a lot. Besides, I asked them about the chair in the classroom, because chairs are not allowed to teachers in the classroom. And I watched, when I entered in the school, I watched, there was a teacher and she was writing something on the copy like a cow. Means she was bowed down, and she was writing something on the copy, and it was quite insulting that you are not providing a teacher a chair. She could be having dizziness, a sudden change in her condition. She can fall down. Doesn't she deserve respect for that? I never sat in the classroom during my lecture, but it could be happened, anything could be happened to her. So you will have to ask this question, and please raise this issue that why teachers are not having a chair. Throughout my childhood, I had a respect for the teacher. She must be having a chair along with a table to keep her things. She can sit if she needs. She has completed her lecture and now children are just noticing down. Why shouldn't she take a little rest? And if she is not inclined to take a rest, usually it happens that during the classroom, the period turns off and you will have to wind up quickly, hurry up, in a hurry. It's okay. She doesn't, I don't remember that ever I sat in the classroom, because after finishing my lecture, I used to roam in the classroom, having a peep over the copies of the kids. Every teacher does the same, but a respect should be there for the teacher from the side of authorities. How could they say this, that they are not having a chair in the classroom for the teachers? So I am against of it. I hope you like my point of view, but it is not compulsion. But I seriously raised these issues while going on interviews. One last point, which is really significant for me because it changed my life. I was in school when my teacher, she was a foreigner, and her name was Margaret, and I liked her so much. I wanted to speak English like her. It was my dream, but it was impossible at that time. But I asked her many questions. One of the questions was that, why did you come here from America? She said, I was a small fish in America, in a big pond. And now here in Pakistan, I'm a big fish in a small pond. My advice for those who are going to be teachers, who are going to get the jobs in any field, who are going to prove themselves, please choose a small pond for yourself when you get a good experience. So you would be reverend, you will feel elevated, you will feel consent, you will feel yourself good and enjoying your life, enjoying your job also. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel so I can grow rapidly on YouTube. Thank you so much. Goodbye.